Hey everyone, this is Brian from ActiveMelody.com. Well, this week we have part one of a little two-part mini-series on rock country. And so I'm going to show you how to play everything that I played in the intro, note for note, in this video. In fact, this entire video will be free. So if you want to watch this, I'm going to break it all down over the next 20 minutes or so. If you want to download the tablature, though, and the MP3 file, the jam track that you can practice along, it'll be missing that part. It'll be really good to practice your timing. You're going to want to go to ActiveMelody.com and look for EP091. Also, just to my left, if you click on that link, you'll be able to see what we're going to learn next week. So that'll be that's the little teaser for the lead part that we're going to learn next week. So anyway, this will be a lot of fun, and if you are interested, definitely check out ActiveMelody.com for premium membership and lots of other lessons like this. So let's go ahead and get started in this first part. Alright, so let's talk through tone settings real quick. I am back to the Blues Driver BD2 pedal, which is made by Boss. I have the gain at about 60%, the levels at about 60%, and the tone is about 50%. I'm also playing through a Telecaster, and the volume is all the way up. The pickup selector switch is down here on the bridge pickup, and I have the tone all the way up as well. So it gives you that real bright kind of country rock feel, which is perfect for this kind of rhythm. By the way, you can play this. You don't have to have any of these settings. In fact, this lesson would be great to do on an acoustic guitar as well. So you could do this either way. Okay, so let's talk through the chords. The chords are simple. There's just an E chord. It's in the key of E. So the first chord's an E, then it goes up to an A, then it's back to an E, and then it goes to a B. And that's the chord structure, and that just repeats. It's pretty predictable. Just an E, an A, and a B. Those are your three chords. And I'll call those chords out as we kind of go through this rhythm. So the first thing to point out is the picking style with the right hand. This is definitely one that you're not going to want to do finger style. You're going to want to use a pick for this. And I'm using pretty much all downstrokes in this. So that's kind of breaking the rules a little bit. Typically what you like to do is you like to alternate pick. Like this, down, up, down, up, down, up, because it's more efficient. But when you're doing stuff like those kinds of things, you'll see that the bulk of what you're trying to do is to hit that one string, like the A string in that case. And so by hitting that one string over and over again, it really makes more sense for you to be, for consistency's sake, to play a series of downstrokes. So we're pretty much going to be all downstrokes in this. Alright, and I will call out, there's a few little spots where there's an upstroke, and I'll call those out, but for the most part it's downstroke. So here's how this thing starts. It goes like this. It almost sounds like the Munsters. Alright, so with the left hand, what I'm doing is I'm pushing down with my pointer finger on the 2nd fret. I'm pushing down on the 5th string and the 4th string. And what that allows you to do is play the bottom 3 notes of that E chord. So if you think of an E chord, right, that's what you're doing, is you're just playing the bottom 3 notes of that without having to complete the rest of it. So it's a real quick and easy way to play an E. So if you're ever wanting to play, you know, that kind of blues, it's just a fast way to jump down and grab an E. And it's also nice because to go to the A, all you do is you move everything up a set of strings. So you're back and forth between, you know, strings 6, 5, and 4 for the E, and then 5, 4, and 3 for the A. Okay, so that's what the left hand is doing. I'm starting though by playing the low E string, or the 6th string, and I'm going to do it twice. And then I'm going to play, and so I just keep this down. It's really kind of just barring there, and it's very comfortable to do. And I let my middle finger come up to the 3rd fret 6th string, and then my ring finger comes up to the 4th fret 6th string. So it sounds like this. Okay, so that's the first few notes. Now the other thing I want to point out is what the right hand is doing. As I mentioned, it's downstroke, so you're not going down, up, you're going down, 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 down. But then I'm taking this part of my hand and I'm resting it on the strings back here. And you know, you just find wherever it's comfortable, but you just kind of rest your palm on the strings and you get this sound, as opposed to this. Now if I took my hand off, you're going to get more of a bright sound, and that's the kind of thing that you probably would want to alternate pick. If you took your hand off, you can see doing that doesn't make as much sense as the alternate picking. But when you're playing this kind of chunky style, I don't know what else to call it, it's just easier to do all downstrokes and then rest your hand back here to get that palm muted effect. Okay, so back, I'm sorry to digress there, but here we go. So we have that, and then we have the 5th string, so we're going to play 5th string, 2nd fret. We're going to play 2 of those, so we have, and then we're going to come back to the 3rd fret, 6th string, and then the 4th fret, 6th string, and then it repeats. So watch this. That's just a nice way to play kind of a rockabilly, country rock type thing down on that low string. And I love to have the treble all the way up when you're doing that. If you're playing it with kind of the, the neck pickup, it loses some of the brightness. And there's something cool about playing a low note with a real bright treble sound. It just sounds real, I don't know, kind of in your face, I guess. So the nice thing about barring that is if you happen to accidentally bump another string, it's okay because it's all part of that E chord. So it's just a natural thing to sort of bar those, starting here on the 5th string, just kind of bar that. And that way you're covering the bases there of strings 6, 5, and 4. Okay, so back to where we are. We have now. The second time through, so the first time through we played 2 of those notes, right? The second time through we only play 1. Watch this. There's the 2. So the second time through you only play that once, then you're back to the 3rd fret on the 6th string, and then back to the 4th fret. So it switches the timing so that you can come into the A note a little bit ahead of the measure. Let me show you what I mean. So see how I came into the A right before the beat? It was on the and of the previous measure. So and what that does is it kind of pulls you in. It just sort of sucks you in. Predictably, your ear knows where it's going. And it also allows you to kind of play that as more of a powerful, like a power chord. And it sort of just sets the tone in a different way as opposed to playing it so robotic. That just sounds kind of cheesy to me. So versus, it sounds more rock and roll to do that. Okay, so now that we're to the A part, once we get to the A part, this is actually where I do an upstroke. I go, so I play the A, and again, with the left hand, all I'm doing is I'm doing exactly what I did before, but now I'm barring the first 4 strings instead of the first 5 strings. But I'm only playing strings 5, 4, and 3, which are all part of that A. What's nice about the A is you can actually do 5, 4, 3, or 2. Your whole A is really covered there. But anyway, we're only going to be playing strings 5 and 4 for now. So once I come to the A, I do that power chord, which is playing strings 5 and 4. And as soon as I play that, then I'm going to do an upstroke. Watch this. Let me do that slowly. So after I play that, I do a quick upstroke and I grab strings. You can grab strings 3, 4, and 5, but you're trying to grab. Really, if you wanted to be super precise about it, it would be strings 4 and 5. But that's the nice thing about playing that whole A chord. You can grab a couple others if you happen to be sloppy, and it's going to sound okay. Now, after we come out of that, I use my pinky for this. Some of you may want to use your ring finger, but I keep the bar here on the 2nd fret, and the pinky goes down on the 4th fret, 4th string, or the ring finger, depending on what's more comfortable for you. I think it's actually more proper to do it this way, to let each finger kind of represent a fret. But it's just, I've learned to do it this way. So I come up here, so that my pinky goes from the 4th fret to the 5th fret, and then back to the 4th fret. Watch. See how it's just kind of bouncing back and forth? Now, let's talk about what the right hand is doing. The right hand is playing, and you'll see this in the tablature, but the right hand is playing strings 5, and then strings 5 and 4. 5, 5 and 4. 5, 5 and 4, like this. 5, 5 and 4. You can see how in every other one I'm playing strings 5 and 4, but on the alternate ones, every time I'm playing just string 5 like this. So that's going to take a little bit of practice maybe, and this is why it's key to have the jam track. So again, if you are a premium member, awesome. If you're not, please check it out, because it's extremely affordable, and it's a really good way to learn these songs, and it kind of forces you to follow a tempo. Alright, so let's cover the A part. So we have, watch this. For that I play the A, just strings 5 and 4. Then I come up here with my ring finger and I play the 5th string on the 4th fret, and then the 5th string on the 2nd fret. So, and that puts us right back into position to go to the E. So let me back up. I'll play everything slowly up to this point, just so that we can you can see what's going on. Here we go. Notice that. There's where I hit that chord. Here's the upstroke. So, you can see that little walk down, both on the 5th string, but the 4th fret and then the 2nd fret, and then we're back to the E. Okay, now after we come back to the E, we're going to repeat. There's that same little riff where we go 2 of these and then 2 of these with this little 3rd fret and 4th fret in between. And then that last time I go, just play 1 of them. And then, so it's that fret, the 2nd fret, 5th string, those 2 notes. Alright, so after we repeat the E part, then we go to the B part. And the B part sounds like this. So there's a lot of notes in there, and you're kind of venturing into lead territory a little bit and breaking out of just a straight rhythm. But since it's happening on all those little downstrokes, it kind of just fits in, and I thought it was kind of a cool way to introduce something a little out of the norm instead of just, you know, what you might, you know, typically hear. So here's how I'm playing that. So I start with just single strings here on the 5th string, 2nd fret. So there's the first note, and that's part of the B chord. It's the root, right? It's a B note. Now after I play that, I'm going to go to the 4th fret, 5th string, and as soon as I play this, and I use my ring finger for this, as soon as I play this note, I'm going to slide it up to the 6th fret. Like that. Now watch this. Here's what's kind of cool. So you can remember this and apply this to any chord anytime you're doing this, so you don't have to just do this on the B. When I come up here and do all these little licks, see what's happening. Notice that my pointer finger is locked down here on the 4th fret, right? So it's just kind of barred. See how it doesn't move? Well, if you think about what's going on, if we make a B chord, and you make a B chord like this, and assume you know how to make a B chord like that, using that chord shape. Well, notice my pinky's there barring anyway. So all we're doing is we're just replacing that with this finger, and then we're playing some notes on this side of the bar, like this. And I always think of that as in my mind, I always think of Wind Cries Mary, Hendrix, because, you know, when you have... you have the other chord, so he's got this chord shape, right? And then he decides to go on the other side of the chord and play it that way. That's really what you're doing here. is it's just opening up some different ways to play it. Now, and I'll show you these notes, but I just want you to remember that. So if you're ever playing a C chord, for example, or a D in another, in another type of song, you have this little area to kind of play with on that side of the chord shape. Hopefully that makes sense. Alright, so back to where we were. So we start here on the 2nd fret, 5th string. Then we'll do that slide up to the 6th fret. And then after that, watch this. So after the 6th fret, 5th string, I'm going to go ahead and put that bar down, barring the first 4 strings on the 4th fret. And I'm going to play strings 4 and 3. Then I'm going to keep that bar down, and I'm going to put my ring finger down on the 6th fret, 3rd string, and then take that off and just play strings 4 and 3 again, barred here on the 4th fret. So let's back up and just do that part again. We'll do it slowly. Oh, there, here, a little hammer on there too. Okay, now I'm going to keep the bar down and watch this. That's kind of, it sounds like it would be difficult, but you'll see it's really easy. All I do is I play strings 3 and 2, which is, part of this bar here on the 4th fret. And then I hammer on, my middle finger goes down on the 5th fret, 2nd string, and my ring finger goes down on the 6th fret, 3rd string. And then I take them off like that, which is a pull off. It's just a kind of a cool, almost country rock kind of lick. Just remember that lick because, like I said, if you're playing a D chord, you can always use that lick. Alright, so let's back up to this point we have. Now watch this. So to complete this, we have, after that, then I keep the bar down, 4th fret, but I take my ring finger and put it down on the 6th fret, 4th string, so I can play that note. Then watch this. There's that hammer on again, just like we did the first time through. So keeping the bar down, we're going to hammer onto the 6th fret, 4th string, playing 2 strings though to give it kind of a double stop, double up. So I'm playing strings 4 and 3. Then my ring finger comes down to the 6th fret, 5th string, and as soon as I play that note, I'm going to slide it right down to the 4th fret. So we have, and then we end on the B note, which is where we started. So if you can see what happens, we kind of start here, we kind of walk up, and then we kind of walk back down. Okay, that's a lot, but that's the most complicated part in this whole rhythm. Alright, so let me back up and play through the whole B part. So we have, let me do it one more time, just so you can get the timing. So that's what you're going to want to build up to. So just practice it. If it seems a little odd in the beginning, it'll click. It's really not that difficult. Remember, all downstrokes. So that's the kind of cool part about it. You're right-handed. It actually simplifies things a little bit. All right. Before we move on to the last 2 parts, let me just back up and I'll play everything up to this point. So here we go. As soon as we slide back to that B, then we play the E, which is right after it. And we just repeat that little same thing. we're back to the A. This is exactly the same as we did the first time through. There's that little upstroke. Now we're back to the E. Now the only thing different this time, just to keep you on your toes, instead of doing the Munsters thing, this time I played just more of a traditional, you know, rock thing instead of the little build-up. So all I'm doing that time, again, I'm still barring the first 5 strings on the 2nd fret, but this time we're going to go. You can see what I'm doing. I'm using my pinky. Again, you may want to use your ring finger for that, but I'm coming down here on the 4th fret 5th string. I'm just alternating, keeping the bar in place. And so it's the same technique where we're playing the low 6th string each time. And this is how you'd want to build into learning to do this. Just play that each time and then introduce this. So we did that with the A part, now we're doing it with the E part. Okay, but this time we only played it 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go right into the B part, and I played a little differently this time. This time I went. So I'm playing a proper B chord, or a B power chord really. So my pointer finger's down on the 2nd fret 5th string, my pinky, and I'm using my pinky for this. Again, most people do it with their ring finger, so find which finger is most comfortable for you. But I'm playing it on the 4th fret 4th string and playing just those 2 strings, so 5 and 4. So I play 2 of those. Then I start here on the 4th fret 5th string, and I'm going to slide up to the 6th fret 4th string. 6th fret 5th string, sorry. I'm going to slide up to the 6th fret 5th string. So we have 2 of those, 2 of those, okay? And then I do that same little bar on the 4th fret. I'm barring the first 4 strings. So I'm going to play strings 4 and 3. And I'm going to hammer onto the 6th fret, just like we did before. Then release it. And then come down and play the 6th fret 5th string. And then I just sort of slide back down to get to the E part again. Alright, so let me back up. I'll back up to the last A part that we were at, and I'll play up to where we are. So remember the A part, we have this part. Remember the E part, we follow that same pattern. But we only go through it once. And then we go to the B. 2 of those. 2 of those. So again, now we're back to the E part again. And watch how I close it. So we're back to doing, you know, the little traditional kind of rock thing. Like that, and I play through that once, and then I close it with this little turnaround, like that. And I'm not sure where I got that. I think that was Bill Kirchen, like maybe from Hot Rod Lincoln or something. But I think that may be where that came from. I just thought it's kind of fitting. So I actually mirrored that on the jam track. You'll see that the piano does that, and the bass and everything, which is kind of fun, makes it kind of fun. So after we play the E the final time through, I come up here to the 2nd fret 4th string. Now this part does have some alternate picking. So we're going to start with a downstroke, then we're going to do an upstroke on the 5th string. Now watch, my fret it here, my ring finger on the 4th fret 5th string, and then we come down to the 2nd fret on the 4th string. So we go. The picking pattern goes down, up, down. Now watch this. Then we go back to the 2nd fret 4th string, and I do 2 upstrokes. I go up, down, up. So it just repeats that little. And that's how that little part is sort of a turnaround, and then we're back to the other part. All right. So that's a lot, but let me back up. I'll play through everything slowly one more time, and that's the entire rhythm part. Again, if you haven't downloaded the jam track, make sure you do that because that'll make practicing this and getting your timing and your tempo down. And it's just a lot more fun when you have a full band with piano and bass and drums and everything. Okay, so here we go. And there you have it, and then it repeats. So that was a lot of fun. Make sure you check out, if you haven't, the part 2 video, because I'm going to go into a really cool kind of a country rock lead that fits over this. So that'll be in next week's lesson, but make sure you check it out if you haven't already. All right, and by the way, that lesson number will be called EP092, so you'll want to look for that. All right, we'll see you next week.